It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for Season 10 of The Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at a new teaser that they released for the second half of Season 10, which was called Final Episodes of Season 10. We're going to be breaking it down. This teaser actually contains interview with the cast and crew as well, so I've actually included those as well in here. I screenshotted every scene in the teaser and I regretted it halfway through. I ended up with like 100 screenshots. Anyway, there's a lot to cover. Let's jump right into it. But before I do that, quick announcements, very quick. First thing, tonight we were going to have our gameplay of Telltale's Walking Dead. That's going to be pushed till tomorrow night. I was late anyway, so I wasn't going to do it, but I decided to do this video tonight for sure. Tomorrow night, stay tuned for my gameplay of Telltale's Walking Dead. Second announcement, this weekend, we won't have any Q&As. We'll skip it until the week after. But this Saturday, stay tuned for my Mandalorian reactions. I will be reacting to both Season 1, Episode 7 and 8, the Season 1 finale. I'll record those earlier and post them on Saturday. So stay tuned for those. Last but not least, right after this video, I will be uploading a video talking about the early reviews that have come out for the first two episodes back of Season 10, Season 10 Episode 9 and 10. So those will be coming up as well. I wanted to originally include them with this video, but this is going to be super long on its own, so I decided to split it. So with all of that out of the way, let's jump right into it. So the first shot we have is this shot of our survivors who are trapped in the cave, and we hear walkers growling in the background. Another shot of the cave trap. We have walkers all around their survivors surrounding them. Then we have this shot of Carol, Magna, and Aaron. Of course, this is from the same scene as well. They're all trapped in the cave. And in the voiceover, we have Magna saying, "What the hell were you thinking, huh?" And it's revealed that she's actually talking to Carol. So that's very interesting. Now, if you go back to some of my earlier videos, I did mention that there's going to be some tension between Magna and the survivors. Magna's going to question why Carol did what she did. And if it ends up getting someone killed, that's gonna piss off maybe Magna more than others, because Magna is the one that has the most tension with the group in general, not even just looking at this situation. And then she continues on to say, running off like that by yourself, so what the hell were you thinking? Doing what you did, Carol, which I completely agree with. I know there are some people who say no one had to run after Carol, but then again, you know, Carol has to start thinking about the consequence of her actions. Carol is a badass. She's one of my favorite characters, but she can't just be doing stupid stuff like this on her own. Then we have this shot of Connie, Magna, and Daryl. Daryl has light up a match and he's looking at something. Connie's reaction here in the background, she looks kind of scared in a way. So that's very interesting. I wonder if there's walkers inside or something else. There is going to be whispers inside with them. And there is tons of clues for that. Now, if you remember when that quick teaser came out with Daryl outside the cave trap looking at the entrance, I noticed that there were whispers with the walkers coming out of the cave. And in this teaser, we actually get a reveal about that. We'll get to that. Then we have this shot of, I think, Daryl crawling through a small space, a tight space, and I think that's Carol with him. Then we have this shot of Connie maybe climbing some of the rocks inside the cave. Then we have this shot of some walkers, and I think that's Jerry's leg. There's been rumors that Jerry might get bit on the leg, and I think this is a clue for that. I don't think he will. I think he'll be fine. We've seen a picture of Jerry and King Ezekiel during the hilltop battle, and Jerry looks fine. He doesn't look like he's injured in some way. I mean, if he lost his leg, I'm sure he wouldn't be able to just be fighting walkers like he was. In the background, of course, we do hear a lot of indistinct shouting going on from all of our survivors who are trapped. Then we have this shot of Jerry. It seems like he's trying to hold someone's hand so they can drag him out of the small space he's trapped in, but I could be wrong about that. But he seems injured, not bit or anything, but he seems injured. Then we have this shot of Connie again in the back with Daryl. Daryl is shouting. I don't know if he's trying to grab Jerry's hand here or whatever, but it's very interesting. We do see Aaron all the way in the background as well, I think, with the flashlight. Then we have this shot of Magna trying to climb the rocks inside the cave. And then we have this shot of Alpha coming out of the cave. And this goes back to what I said earlier about there being whispers inside the cave. So Alpha comes out of the cave with a torch in hand and tells the Whisperers, make sure they don't get out. And the Whisperers start walking towards the cave, and that's where the scene cuts off. But I think the Whisperers will get inside the cave and try to, from their end, do what they can do to make sure that the survivors don't get out, as ordered by Alpha. So that's pretty cool. And we do see Alpha actually throw the torch down as she's leaving. That'll be later on in the teaser. Now, I originally thought she was going to burn down the place or whatever, but if there are Whisperers going down there, it doesn't make sense for Alpha to be doing that. Then we have this shot of Angela Kang, the executive producer and the showrunner, talking a little bit about the second half. She says, everything is just in question. So she's basically saying that everything is on the table between the Whisperers and the survivors. So it's not really like, you stay on your side, I'll stay on my side. Like, it's war now. There's no Cold War. It's real war. And she does mention that later on as well. Then we have this shot of Daryl and Carol talking inside the cave. Daryl says, it's like I can't even turn my back on you anymore. And that goes back to their conversation earlier on in the season. And it goes back to why they're in this mess in the first place. Because Carol did something that she wasn't supposed to do. She went on a rogue mission. She ran after Alpha when, if she thought about it for like a quick minute, she would have realized pretty soon that, it was a trap. Then we have this shot of Angela Kang again. She says borders have been crossed, and obviously it's not just one time. They've crossed the border multiple times now. Then we have this shot of the council. We have Laura and Scott, and we have Father Gabriel in the voiceover saying, you all are hesitating because you're afraid of them, referring to the Whispers. So I think Father Gabriel is just trying to get everyone's buy-in to go to war with the Whispers and not just respect the borders and follow their orders anymore. Then we have this shot of Gabriel again, part of the same scene. Then we have this shot of Rosita with Scott and Laura in the background. And we have Angela Kang in the voiceover saying, the truce has never been truly a truce. So the truce between the Whispers and the survivors was just a temporary solution. It was not a permanent solution. The war was inevitable. Then we have this shot of some walkers. I think this is at the hilltop, and I think this is part of the hilltop battle that's going to take place. Then we have this shot of Alpha talking to someone. I think that's Beta because of this ripped leather jacket. I could be wrong, but I think this is Beta. But Alpha says the enemy are watching us. And then we have this part of the interview with Angela Kang. She says, and that's all going to come to a head. So there's no truce anymore. There's no Cold War. This is the war. This is the Whisper War. And that's actually how they end this teaser, saying that the Whisper War is on now, which I absolutely loved. Then we have this shot of Beta in the woods, and in the voiceover, Samantha Morton, who plays Alpha, says, everything just gets ramped up to a very, very heightened degree of fear, anxiety, and suspense. Then we have this shot of Michonne inside some sort of a boat. We saw that in the first trailer that they released for the second half, so there's nothing new there. But this is obviously connected to Michonne and Virgil's story. Then we have this shot of Alexandria residents getting ready. Maybe there's walkers getting there. Maybe Whispers, maybe it's not just a hilltop battle, maybe there'll be a battle at Alexandria as well. We do know Beta makes it to Alexandria, so maybe this is what that's all about. Maybe they find Beta or they see some Whispers around. Of course, we have Laura and Rosita getting ready to fight. Then we have this shot of Daryl on a rock with walkers all around him. Now, in a picture that they released, we did see Daryl jumping on a rock that was near the area where they were trapped. So I think this is just part of that scene. Then we have this shot of Gamma, guards in the background, and Father Gabriel looking at her. And this is obviously part of the scene or the story where Gamma goes to Alexandria to warn them and to let them know that their friends are trapped in the cave. So I think that's what that's all about. Now, I think right after this, Father Gabriel most likely puts Gamma in a cell to begin, and then he brings her to the council to hear what she has to say. But in the voiceover, we have Father Gabriel saying, you're hiding something. And then this shot of Father Gabriel looking at someone inside the jail cell. I think he's looking at Gamma. I think this is right after they put Gamma in the jail cell. And I'm assuming that they're gonna do that because they don't immediately trust Gamma. Then we have this part of the interview with Angela Kang again. She says the first half of the season, we really saw a Cold War approach. We have a shot of Beta and Alpha at the Whisperers camp. Then we have this shot of Father Gabriel at the council. Most likely this is when he and the other members of the council are talking to Gamma. And then we have this shot of Alpha with her torch. And I think this is as she's coming out of the cave entrance. And this is most likely right before she tells the Whisperers, make sure they don't get out. But in the voiceover, Angela Kang continues to say, and in the second half, that really gets hot. So that's pretty much what I said. It's not a Cold War anymore. It's actual war. Then we have this shot of Carol looking up at someone. Maybe Daryl, maybe someone else. There is a shot right at the end of the teaser where Carol is screaming at the top of her lungs. And I think this probably takes place right before that. We'll get to that at the very, very end. If you like what you see, press like, subscribe for more content, and press the bell button to receive notifications for daily uploads.